Hello, it's Find You Fridays. There we go. It's Find You Fridays with me, your host, Lorene Hughes from Crafting Possibilities. So let's just make sure everything is in the right place. And let's get that one up and running. Alrighty, let's get that there. Alrighty, so that's pinned. Cool. Alrighty, let's have a look. Good evening. Happy Find You Friday, my friends. Let's see, how's the world been treating you? How's your day? How's your week been? Ooh, that explains a lot. I just looked at my calendar and I've been feeling a little bit moody. And hence the reason for the dark makeup today and the dark top and the dark background. It's like I've just been feeling a bit moody. And then I had a look at the calendar, and what do you know? The 22nd is a new moon. Happy days. Now we know why I've been feeling moody. Oh, dear. Gotta love it. Absolutely gotta love it. What else is possible, eh? So, to soothe this moody mind, we have a cup of tea, and it is a rose with French vanilla. So I've always loved this tea. It's something that my cousin introduced me to, actually, and I was over there to visit, and she gave me this cup of tea, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And she's like, oh, it's like a hug in a cup. And I'm like, oh, it so is. So from this hug in a cup to you, if you're also feeling a bit moody with the new moon that's on its way, here we go. A sip to you too. Just soothe everything down. Love it. Alrighty. Well, my friends, I think we might just get started straight into doing a general reading for the next 7 days. Now let's have a look, see which card deck wishes to come and play. Okay. Cool. I always give my team choices. Plenty of choices. How's your day been? I'm so excited. I'm going to get my hair cut soon. About a month's time, 3 weeks time. So excited. It's getting a bit long, which is amazing considering roughly 12 months ago now, half of it fell out. Oh dear. Thanks to some radiation poisoning that I received. That was awesome. So I was doing amazingly well. All right, so let's have this reading for the collective for the next 7 days. So from the 21st of January right through to the 27th of January, which also encompasses this lovely new moon energy. We have the first card out already. Let's see what else pops through. See how we can best utilize these energies and have them work with us and enjoy these moments rather than feeling like, "Rawr." Hey, Melinda. Hey, darling. Oh, yes, I forgot about that one. Hello, my friends. I'm just setting up this general reading for everybody for the next week. Hopefully it'll show me a way so that I can stop feeling so moody. All right, one from the brand new card deck. I'm getting the sense that it's wanting to come out, so that's cool. Cool. All righty. So the 7-day reading is for the next 7 days, being from the 21st of January right through to the 27th, encompassing the new moon that is on the 22nd. So the first card we've got that's come up is the fairies card. So of course we know generally this is a moment of saying, hey, connect in with the elementals, connect in with Mother Nature. It's really important for you to do so. And if you do, then you'll find the next 7 days a lot easier for you. So perhaps if you're feeling a little bit like me and are feeling a little bit like tense and uptight in your chest, and perhaps like your tolerance level has gone way down, it might be a really good time to just get out in nature and just spend some time admiring the little things, the glint of the sunlight off a cobweb, or the little buzzy bees coming in and doing their thing, or the birds doing whatever birds do, and the interaction with the birds and the nature and the trees and stuff. Like when I see that fairies card, it's definitely an indication to get out in nature and have a little bit more grounding time. The next card that we've got is be willing to forgive. Okay, so the angels are asking you to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness, which I think is incredibly pertinent given the new moon energies that are floating around right now. There's a lot of releasing that goes on in a new moon, and within that it's a space of like being able to forgive. And sometimes the biggest person that we have to forgive is ourselves. And when we have those spaces of realizing that we in that consciousness responsibility level of going, we have created everything in our lives, and then taking responsibility for that, and then saying, okay, now if I've created everything in my life, if I've chosen everything in my life, and I'm not liking certain aspects of that, we'll then start asking some more questions about what is it that I could do or be or receive to change this. And along with that, we have to forgive ourselves for making those choices that led to that particular outcome in the first place. And that can be sometimes the hardest thing to do. Along with self-responsibility, it's the willingness to give up the blame game. It's so easy, and we've been entrained to blame others for our issues. Whereas if we really look at it honestly, then and brutally honestly, we can see that it's actually us that has chosen it, as individuals, as a collective, whatever it might be. Okay, so you've got to be willing to forgive, especially yourself, over the next 7 days. The next 7 days will also encompass a little bit of emotional sensitivity, and to honor and respect your deep sensitivity. It is a gift to us all. Okay, so having that deep sensitivity for us healers means that we're probably going to be feeling a lot of different energies and sensations in our bodies over the next 7 days. And feeling it from other people, feeling it from ourselves, maybe our partners, our work colleagues, however that might be. We might be feeling it from the earth. We might be feeling it from, other terrestrial beings, extraterrestrial beings. We might be feeling it from all over the place for the next 7 days. So within that, just be aware and ask the questions. Truth, is it mine? And if it is heavy, if it feels sort of like dense and heavy and then it's not yours. Okay, so you can ask to then let that go. And that is one of the top tips I give for anybody who is energetically sensitive, is to ask that questions. When you're starting to feel like the weight of everything, and you're feeling like really cranky, and you might be feeling a little bit judgmental, you might be feeling a little bit moody, ask, hey, is this mine? And if it isn't yours, ta-da, bye-bye. The next card that we've got for the next 7 days is books. So your life purpose involves reading, writing, editing, or selling spiritually based books. Now, for the next 7 days, the way I'm looking at this particular card, it comes out journaling. So please journal. Please write down all of the stuff. If you're feeling a bit like cranky and moody, then please write that down. Get it out of here, plop it on the page, and let it leave your body, because the longer it stays within your body, the more it's going to stew and then grow and then go really unky gunky, and and then it'll start literally infecting everything and everyone around you. So please get those journals out, write your stuff down, get it, into a page, into a solid format, rather than just being up in your head. Your next card that we've got for the next 7 days for the collective is Twin Flame. So if you recall, several weeks ago, a couple of months ago, whenever it was, we actually did a podcast show with Brooke Hadland and Matthew Kuhn, and we actually had a look at twin flames and soulmates and karmic twin flames and stuff like that. Now, for the next 7 days, what I'm seeing with this card is that you may have either some stuff come up within your relationships that are going on that are a little bit closer to you. Maybe not, if you're not in a relationship, it might be with a close family member or a very close friend. There could be some stuff coming up in there. Now, this could go either way. I'm actually sensing a pendulum. Like, it's either going to go really awesome in the next 7 days. Somebody's going to tell you some really great stuff, or you're going to find yourself having a few more arguments and fights. So it feels it could go either way. So if it starts to head more towards the fights, step back and ask yourself, truth, what is this really all about? And are they just feeling a lot of the feels right now? Are they, what's really going on here? So that would be my suggestion. Try not to rip each other's heads off if that's what's happening for you over the next 7 days, and just go and do some journaling first. Go sit out in nature first. Go deep breathe, go do something else before tackling your partner or friend. All right. The second to last card that we've got for today is from my brand new deck called the Divine Feminine Oracle. Okay. So what we got was the Lala. She's very cute. And she's the saint of the spoken words. So every word I say becomes a prayer. I am the author of my own story. So that's really wrapping it up really nicely back to what we were saying at the start of the reading, where you have made your own story. Everything that's in your life is your own story, and you have created that. And if you don't believe me, have a little bit of a meditation, tune in with your higher self and ask your higher self, truth, was this already mapped out for me before I was even born? And I can almost guarantee you that if you have a really good connection with your higher self and you can speak with your higher self, you'll get that sensation that yes, everything is as it is meant to be. And while things are constantly changing, it is all leading towards a certain specific path. And you are here to experience the things you are experiencing. There's a reason for you to experience certain things. And yes, it can be tough to think, there's a reason why I had to experience that level of abuse. Why? For what reason would I ever ask to experience that level of abuse? But if we have a look at that, and being able to experience and be on the receiving end of that level of abuse, perhaps it's created within you some aspects of kindness and compassion for others that perhaps wouldn't have been there otherwise. So it's like I was listening to Becoming the One. I've had a little bit of a break from it for a little while. I was having to sort of digest and process, and I was having another little chunk of it this week. And she mentioned about dating divorcees, and she said, you get two types of divorcees. You get the type that is very much blaming the other person. They never take responsibility for themselves. They are never moving forward. They're just very much in victim mode. Then you've got the other type of divorcee who knows what it feels like to have huge heartbreak and huge amounts of loss. And so those are the people that will actually really try very, very hard to keep what feels good and what feels right to them safe and healthy, and continuing to make it grow and shift and change and become even more amazing. So be that person. Don't be the one that's sitting in the blame game, because that doesn't help anybody, least of all yourself. And again, it ties into that second card of being willing to forgive. All right. So our last yummy card of this particular reading for the collective. Straight up. We got acknowledge. Okay. So acknowledge just how freaking amazing and potent you are. Acknowledge, if you are feeling grumpy, if you are feeling like you don't know what to do, speak it, say it, acknowledge. Okay, acknowledge where you're at. Don't hide yourself away and block people off, because that's not going to help. It's not going to help towards the greater collective. All right, so I hope that helps everybody for the next 7 days. I am so grateful for you, for everybody that is contributing to us and to this reading, and that includes, of course, all of your guys' spirit teams who have been stepping in and out while that reading was going on. Now let me jump back across to the chats, because I see some beautiful friends have joined us. Hi, Lynn from New Zealand. Hello, darling. so glad to have caught a little bit of your reading show the other night. That was so super cool. Really neat to see you in your element and just enjoying life. I love it, love it, love it. And that was so fun. Barry Laney, hi, hello. How is Mount Gambier treating you, my friend? I'm so excited to have you on the podcast in a few weeks. It's so super cool. Barry, of course, I met him at the Crystal Pyramid Fair, which was last weekend. It feels like a month since then. And we were positioned right next to each other. So it was really neat. And we were both very busy throughout the entire day. So I was surprised that we actually managed to find some time to have a bit of a chat. And I just loved what he had to say. So I was like, would you like to be on my Tasty Tuesday podcast? And he's like, oh, yeah, that sounds awesome. And then we just set off for another chat. It was great. So I'm looking forward to that one very, very much. Alrighty. And of course, I've just received a notification that beautiful Mel has popped in a donation. Thank you so much, Mel. Hi, Carol from the UK. How are you, gorgeous? What's the weather like over in the UK today? I should be drinking my tea properly, shouldn't I? There we go. My fingers are a little bit sore. I've done, let me see, almost 40 hours of cleaning in 4 days. And then actually, that doesn't include the cleaning I did at my house on Sunday last week. And then today I have had an entire day of painting ceilings and cornices. So yeah, it's been full on week this week. I'm very impressed that my body is still doing amazing things, like being here. It's a beautiful sunny day in the UK. Excellent. Yes, I'm mixing it up between tea and water today. Okay, Mel, my gorgeous, lovely, darling woman. What would you like me to have a look at? What would you like me to target today? Yeah, and today was a 10-hour day. I started at 8 o'clock and I didn't finish until 20 past 6. So yeah, so I'm clocking up the hours this week. Hi, don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. Ijimi? That sounds a bit better. Hi, Ijimi. You're new. Thank you for coming to join us. Yeah, and then tomorrow I didn't quite get the ceilings finished. So tomorrow I have some lawns to mow, somebody else's lawns to mow in the morning. And then I'll be going back up to the painting job, spending the last probably 2 hours there, just finishing up and doing I had another section to do, one more section to do. They've got lots of little light fittings and things throughout the entire ceiling, and I was having to work around the furniture and all that sort of stuff. So it was not quite as quick as some of the jobs that I've done, but yeah. The coming week, please. We just did that. Oh dear, that's funny, Melinda. You're cute. So yes, this cup was a beautiful gift, a birthday gift. Let's see if I can get you to see it a bit better. There we go. Isn't that so pretty? I love this one. I was actually gifted another set that comes with, the cup and then the teapot that sits into it for Christmas. And that's a turquoise set. It's a little bit bigger. And I was not quite ready to drink quite that much vanilla and rose tea. All right, Melinda. Let me see which cards would like to come and play with you. Interesting. Oh, you're funny. I want to know you know my reading, please. So Jimmy, if you would like to have an extended reading, like Melinda is about to have, feel free to pop a little donation through, and I can definitely pop you in the list of having an extended reading. It's just through PayPal there. It's rolling across the screen. I think it's in the show notes. It's tabbed at the top. It's pinned at the top, rather. Okay. Interesting. Oh, Melinda, you've got a lot of energy going on, love. It's time for an energy dump. I've had, while tuning in with you, I've had like, sort of like feeling. I've had like a tingle up my neck, like a sort of like almost like a crick in my neck on my right hand side. There was that big yawn. It's just like, oh boy, there's a lot of energy. And actually that last yawn was mid back, again on my right hand side. So something's up on your masculine side, honey. What's up? Oh, wow. So what's coming through at the moment, Melinda, is there's just, yeah, okay. Cool. Certainly that's a good part of it. When I was just reading that message about your dad, what was that? That was the restructuring bar twinged. Okay, so as you said, you're learning from it. There's more. I would be having a deeper look at where those trigger points come from and have a look at what's underneath that, and keep going until you really nail down. You can do that through journaling. You can do that through voice sometimes when we do it through voice, when stuff comes up and it's like you have to kind of put yourself into two people while you do it. It's a little bit tricky sometimes when you're looking at emotional stuff. The best way to do it is actually with a trusted friend who can remain neutral and just ask you, like, say to them, look, I'm having, say, a little bit of a reality check right now. And I just need to know that you can hold space to ask me so that we can do a little bit of digging and figure out why this triggers me so much. And then, just start going and just ask them to say, and what's underneath that? And what's underneath that? Because it's very easy to get caught up in the emotions of something. Whereas if you allow yourself to just keep going down underneath those emotions, you might actually find out it is something really quite simple. Like what happened when I got so angry about having show throughs through my house. And so I had to talk to my inner child and go, okay, so what is actually going on here? And I had that conversation with my inner child, and it turned out she just wanted to feel safe in her own home. And it was a triggering point for her, having complete strangers walking through her home and, feeling unsafe and unsure about that whole process. So have a look at that. He asks questions and we give him the answers, and then he goes and asks someone else or won't listen at all. All right. So if that triggers you, and I say this with a bit of a smile because I get accused of doing that too. Have a look why that triggers you. Have a look at, is that something that you do, or is it something that you've been accused of doing? Is it something that, is it a bit like my mum who used to say, I should only ever have to ask you once to do something? Is it a control thing? Is it, I'm not sure what it is for you. So I would look at that and go, okay, if this is triggering me, then why? What is underneath that? What is underneath that trigger? Why is that triggering me? Okay, what if it's nothing to do with him at all? Because the other thing to look at it is obviously he's going to be getting a bit older. And what if he's either not heard you, completely not heard you, or he's just losing his marbles. And so he doesn't remember that he's even asked you. So that could be another aspect. A lot of people get triggered by having to repeat themselves. So that's part. That could be part of that. So we have the Celtic cards that have come out, and we have Carolyn. Oop, there she goes. Okay. She's gorgeous. Love her. So she's about transformation, knowledge, and magic. So with you and for your next week or so, I would say have a look at where are you transforming. You've already said that you're learning from those trigger points with your dad. What else are you transforming through that? How are you changing the tree of your family through changing the energies and your responses to those energies? What if your responses to your dad, if you change them and if you forgive him and you, and just stay present in the right now, and does it really matter if he asks several people the same question? Does it matter? Maybe he's just really good at researching. Maybe he just really likes to play the field with people's opinions and then figure out what's the best for him and sitting in the middle. I don't know. I don't know your dad, but I do get that it is very frustrating when you find somebody who asks a question and then doesn't take on board what you've said. Yeah. All right. The next card that we've got is the gift, which is about communication, gift, and crystals. So again, we're having knowledge, communication. So for the next week or so, you're going to find that your knowledge is going to be tested, that your communication skills are going to be having to be like sharpened up a little bit. You may, along with the communication side of it, you may find that you have to listen a little bit more. Interesting. Didn't feel like he... Okay, so have a look. What's underneath that? You didn't feel like he believed you and that you weren't telling him the truth. So what's underneath that? The next card that we've got here is Tree Spirit. Okay, isn't he lovely? So this is the masculine stuff coming through now. Okay, so the first two were very feminine, and now we've got the masculine coming through, which is strength, growth, and stability. So in relation to what you've got in the chat there, where do you feel like the masculine, in this case your dad, maybe hasn't shown you that strength, maybe hasn't shown you that stability? But the cool thing is that he's still encouraging you to grow. He's still encouraging you through his way of how he bees with being bombastic. I love that word. That he's encouraging you to go within and see what healing you can do within, and then approach him perhaps in a different way next time. It was interesting. I was just having a look at this picture and I kept seeing, it's not there, but I kept seeing kind of like a possum hanging upside down in the top of his branches up here. It looked like a possum to me. And I'm like, that's really interesting. So I was having a closer look, and there's no actual possum there, but my eyes are still seeing it. So I wonder what the creature of possum means to you. Perhaps there's some spiritual nature in that. Like, where are you holding on with your tail as opposed to letting go? So what are you holding on to your dad, perhaps that dead branch that really you just need to let go of? Okay. The next card that we've got for you, my love, is the Hare. So this is about other world, shape-shifting, and fertility. So this is where we're looking at, if we sort of combine the first three cards already, we're looking at the space of having a look to see where are you shape-shifting these energies, and can you perhaps tap into other worldly energies, other dimensions. Have a look at your other lifetimes and see where is it that you have prevented yourself from moving forward. Because of course fertility is all about creativity, growth, and forward movement of whatever, whether it be creating a project, creating a child, creating a relationship. It's like there's some elements that are preventing you from moving forward, because that card actually came out reversed and I've put it up the right way. But I have to honor the fact that it did come out reversed. So when I see that, I'm sort of going, okay, well, that means that the underworld is on top rather than underneath. Rather than underneath. So where are you letting your previous lifetimes promises or oaths or whatever dominate what's happening in your life now, and maybe slightly sabotaging what you're truly wishing to do with your life now? Have a look at that in your next meditation journaling session and ask yourself, what oaths and vows, etc. have I agreed to in other lifetimes that are no longer required now? And see what comes up, and then you can clear them. Okay. The next card that we've got is the pentagram. Isn't that so cool? I love that. It's got all the elements there. So pretty. And that's really what a pentagram is, as you know. It's actually a representation of all the different elements coming together as one. And also the different forms of beings and live like religions as such, all coming together. That's actually the true meaning of the pentagram back many thousands of years ago. And the beauty of that is that it truly is about protection and balance and unity. And like there's a seashell on there, there's some fire, there's a crystal, there's a feather, and there's I would say a star right at the top. And so within your reading today, like have a look at where are you allowing yourself to have your boundaries perhaps are not strong enough. Perhaps you require a little bit stronger boundaries in certain elements. Where have you sort of drifted apart instead of bringing all those pieces and parts back together for yourself? Okay, so have a look at that. Again, another journaling moment, another meditation moment, something to have a look at for that for you. All right. Now, your second to last card before we get on to the yummy card has come from the new deck, the Goddess deck. And we've got Parvati. Let's see if I can show you her. There we go. So she is the goddess of devotion. Isn't she gorgeous? And what she is talking about is she says that I am love that doesn't leave. When I commit to love, my soul evolves. So if you were truly loving you, and if you were unconditionally loving your dad, what would that look like? What would that feel like? And this is also for the rest of you who are listening to this right now. If you were truly loving you in this 10 seconds, in this moment, what would that really look like? What would that feel like? What would that taste like? What would it smell like? How would your body feel? If you were truly loving you with unconditional love. So that's love with absolutely no rules, no boundaries. You don't have to have been good. You don't have to confess your sins. You don't have to do any of that. If you just, because there is unconditional love all around us all the time, we just refuse it most of the time. So if you're really allowing yourself to receive that unconditional love through your body, even if it's just for the next 10 seconds, you might just find that stress points disappear, that those, tight spots in your body just start to melt a little bit. Maybe you become a little bit softer with the people around you. Something to ponder. All right, so let's do your yummy card. I do love these cards. We got a purification card. So maybe it's time to either purify your crystals. That feels pretty light. But also maybe do some form of detox for yourself. Whether that be just drinking a lot more water, dropping out coffee for a few days, something. There's something around that sort of cleansing process for a few days that will really assist your body. Okay. All righty, my love. Thank you so much, Melinda, for choosing to have a paid reading with us. I'm so grateful for you. Yes, I'm doing things a little differently today. I've actually got my earpiece in so that when I'm doing readings, especially the week-long reading, I don't have ding through the middle of the reading, which is lovely. I do love hearing the diddlings, but Aw. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful for you both, for everyone tonight. I'm very, very grateful. My business. Oh, my goodness. So I was talking with my business this morning because I was like, I'm very aware that I've been doing a lot of physical work this week. And I was like, hey, business, how are you going? Are you okay? And she's like, yeah, you've got your 2 podcasts going. You've got 2 sessions on Sunday. You've got, things are just running along quite nicely, thanks. And then she's like, but please make sure you take some time for yourself because I don't want you too tired to do stuff. Isn't that nice? That's my business being so lovely and caring about me. I was like, oh. So yes, I do feel this year feels very, how do we say, abundant. I felt it as soon as we stepped into the year. It was just I felt very much like there's a great amount of abundance coming our way this year. And I'm like, that's really interesting because I know I've got some really big bills coming up this year. So I'm looking forward to seeing how all that pans out. So yes, my business is very, very happy that you guys are all here and you're playing and we're just enjoying being together. All right. So, yay! Yes, Lynn, absolutely. All right. Oh, excuse me. Let me just double check over in the main PayPal account. Just double check. Tell me, what are your guys' plans for the weekend? I'd love to know because I'm a nosy Parker. So that just brings up a little poem that we used to sing in primary school. So bearing in mind that I grew up in New Zealand and there was a tiny little village just down the road from where I grew up in Kakahi called Piriaka. And so we used to go, nosy Parker, do the haka all the way to Piriaka. When you're there, cut your hair and stick it down your underwear. And of course, we'd sing it a lot faster than that. But I wanted you guys to be able to hear the words. It's so funny. Kids say the weirdest stuff. Oh, dear. Relaxing, visiting the garden. Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds absolutely beautiful. Let me see. And having time with your cats. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, tomorrow, like I said, I've got to finish this painting job that I was on today. I have a set of lawns to do in the morning, taking some me time in the afternoon, late afternoon, evening. So it's going to be a little bit of nurturing me time. And then I've got my 2 sessions on Sunday. So for crafting possibilities. So I'm looking forward to doing those 2 online sessions. Yay! Happy days. Weeding the veggie garden, says Melinda, and some relax time. That sounds lovely. Yeah, I know. I know. I am busy, but it's so weird because we've actually got a public holiday next Thursday. So it's Australia Day. So I'll only be working my cleaning job 3 days this week. So that makes me very happy. And I don't think I have anything else planned next week, Friday, as such. Oh, I have a set of lawns tomorrow on the Friday. But I may actually shift that over to the Sunday and then have 2 days off for myself instead, except for Find You Fridays, of course. That might be a really nice idea, actually. I think that's what I may end up doing so that I actually have a little bit of yummy time. So, yes, 3 days. 2 days off, and then I've got a full day of I'm helping a friend of mine clean their place. Aw, thank you, Lynn. Mwah. Lynn has just received, has just requested rather a extended reading, so I'm super grateful for you, darling. And what would you like me to have a look at, sweetie? Just pop that in the chat below. Oh dear. That was an honest I'm tired yawn, not an energy yawn. They feel really different. Like somebody said to me, gosh, are you really tired? And I'm like, no, there's just an awful lot of energy. It's almost like when it's an energy yawn, it almost just comes from the head. But when it's a real honest, like body yawn, it's like it comes from the depth of my belly. Messages about what, my sweet? Okay, let's see which cards are going to come out. Oh, okay, we're going to have those cards. Is there anybody else? Yes. Okay. Whew, there's a lot going on there. Okay. Well, first of all, let's have a look at that body condition and just see what might be cropping up. It's more than likely something emotional that's going on. Quite often rashes are. Yes, tomorrow is going to be an interesting day because it's 29 degrees here tomorrow. It's not as bad as it has been over the last couple of weeks. It's been really hot right up until about the heat broke on about Tuesday afternoon. It started to drop down, which was really good. But yeah, we're heading for an overnight high. Tomorrow is 29, then we've got 31, 32, 31, 30, 30, 35. So it's a hot week again. So lucky. But then it's quite funny because we get to an overnight low of like 14 or something, and it feels like it's freezing, and we have to put jumpers and all of that on. It's quite funny. Makes me laugh. Interesting. Yeah, I think you guys do end up getting our weather like the week after. Sometimes it goes a bit quicker depending on how fast the wind is going. But I have noticed with my friends, like I'll have like a really hot spell then or a really rainy spell, which doesn't happen that often, but then it'll go through Melbourne and then head over to you guys. So sometimes it picks up the rain through Melbourne and goes over. And but yeah, there's definitely always a raise in temperature when from here. If we've had quite a hot week, then you guys will end up with a hot week like the week after. It's quite interesting. So if we've had a reasonably cool week this week mostly, then you're likely to get a reasonably cool one as well. And then it'll be heating up for you guys at the end of next week again. Oh, ow. Lynn, what's happening with your fingers, love? They just went tight, really, really tight. Oh, on my right hand. Ooh, okay. You got some arthritis? Gotta let that stuff go, lovey. Oh, ow. We've got great enthusiasm and interest motivates you towards a new venture. Work hard to achieve the new goal. Okay. Rash, hurt, in a bad fall. And yes, that too. Wow. Okay, so that's cool. I'm picking up on all the things. It was just like all of a sudden my hand just went really, really sore. Not so much itchy like you would get in a rash, but just it was like internally, all in between the knuckles and things just went like really tight and tense. It was just like, oh. Let's have a look. Have you got Ina Segal's book, love? Have you got that one? Let's have a look at their hands. 68. If you haven't got it, then do. Oh, seriously, it's a bloody good book. Okay. So with the right hand, for many people, the right hand is dominant. It's the hand with which they create. You may feel lost, uncreative, fearful of the future, experience struggle and frustration, question your ability to work, create money, and feed your family. You may have felt disappointed or betrayed by someone you considered your right hand man or woman. You may have been someone's right hand person, helping and trusting only to be rejected. So have a look at that and see what is maybe what's in that resonates with you. And there's a full remedy, which I'm not going to go into here. So I highly recommend that you pick up this book. Okay. It's called The Secret Language of Your Body by Ina Segal. INNASEGAL. It helped me. It was probably one of the first real, true steps into self-healing. And I used it to heal precancerous cells in my cervix. Okay. So with this book and the remedies that are here, it's not necessarily a one and done. Sometimes it takes a few times and then it's, things work through. But certainly it is a very, very potent book. She uses a combination between light and the divine healing intelligence, which I'll give you a heads up, something that took me a really long time to figure out. Divine healing intelligence is your higher self. It is you healing you. And obviously with being in contact with source, the universe, whatever you wish to call it. So have a look at those aspects, see what resonates for you. Sometimes it's only certain parts of those write-ups that are relevant to you, and sometimes it's all of it. Just depends. So yes, Melinda knows the book well. So yes, for you, a difficult decision must be made. Evaluate and reconsider if necessary. So this is again a thing of looking at what is important to you. What do you need to declutter? What is required in your world to declutter, whether that be emotional decluttering, whether it be physical decluttering, whether it be people decluttering, whether it be decluttering in a digital form. Like really get brutally honest with yourself and start clearing out some of these old energies. Okay. The next one we've got, which you have been doing a bit of already, is that to be adventurous. There is much change around you and possibilities abound. Allow yourself to be open to them. So this is just like a little card of encouragement saying, keep going. Doing what you're doing is amazing. Please keep going because it is helping you to move forward in your life. Okay. I'll come back to that question. That's a really interesting question. Mila, hi, darling. How are you, sweetie? All right. Lynn. All right. Sorry, people. I forgot to put Lynn's. There we go. I'll just put that there. All right. So Lynn has actually paid for an extended reading. So that's why I'm focusing on her right now. The next card says, recognize your own limits and be mindful that you may need to step back and take stock. Face the possibilities honestly before moving forward. So this I get is actually around decluttering of people. So this is something that I touched on a little bit last week with, I think it was last week, pretty sure it was, where I was talking about a very dear friend of mine who's elderly and had made some pretty harsh statements, which she probably didn't really realize were pertaining to me in a year and a half ago. And I had to really step back, and this card represents this perfectly, of looking at, honestly facing the possibilities of what would my life be like without her? What would it be like if I keep her in it? Look at, recognizing the limit of, those kinds of statements really don't wash well with me. But it was also a very, as they say, extenuating circumstances that promoted that particular statement for being said in the first place. And I had to step back and I had to take stock of what was important to me. And in the end, I decided that, having her in my life was far more important to me than getting rid of her and saying goodbye to pretty much almost my whole lifetime of friendship because of one silly statement made at a time where, there was a lot of fear and just not great things going around, manipulation and, a lot of gaslighting stuff going around. There was an awful lot of that. So I had to just sort of be aware of what was more important. And that might be where you're at the moment too, of looking at, is this something that's a bit of a one-off with someone, or is it something that is a reoccurring theme of, gaslighting, abuse, narcissism, general nastiness, that sort of thing? Is it something that you can tackle? Is it something that you can address, or is it just not worth it at the end of the day and letting it go? There's other people that they're still important to me, but I'm choosing to not have regular contact with them because they are abusive at times and have been multiple times over my life. And so I'm just choosing not to go there. But they are still important to me. So they're still there. I just don't choose to have very close contact with them. And that's okay too. You're allowed to do that. The next card, which kind of just aligns a little bit even further with this, is it says, do not give in, and it has it in capital letters, to doubt and suspicion. This only gives way to disappointment. Be honest with your feelings, especially with dealing with others. Keep your expectations real. Okay, so with this one, it's important to not get swayed. Like, if you know in your heart, into the bottom of your belly, what is true for you, hold on to that. And don't let other people's doubts and suspicions influence you away from your lightness, from your truth. That doesn't mean that you can't be open to other people's points of views and other people's ways of looking at things, i.e. points of views, but belief systems. It doesn't mean that you can't be open to hearing any of that, because you might just learn something. But if somebody is doing doubt and suspicion, which is exactly the two things that was mentioned specifically in this card, which of course are forms of judgment, be aware just to hold true for you, okay? And hold your truth. So if you find that people in your world are, judging you for your lives and what you're doing with your readings and all of that sort of thing, that's fine. They can do that. You don't have to let that adjust how you choose to show up in the world. Okay, if what you're doing is making you feel happy and fun and light and you're enjoying life, keep doing it, love. Okay, and bugger the rest. The next card that we've got for you is blue, which is activate your healing power. So didn't mean to make it seem like I was giving you the finger. So activate your healing power. This card here is saying you have more capacities, my friend, way more capacities than you've maybe quite comprehended, and there's more to come. Okay, so this is a little bit of a heads up that you may have some moments of moments of wobble coming through, where you might feel like you want to rest, or you may feel like suddenly this capacity just boom opens up in you and you're like, oh my god, what the heck just happened? I've had both. I've had them come in, slide in so gently and easily, and other times it's just gone and I'm just like, so be aware, either could happen. This is kind of like for once giving you a nice little heads up. So be grateful for that one. They don't often do that. They'll just sneak attack you. All right, so we've still got your happy card, your yummy card rather. It might not be happy. Who knows? That's why I don't like to call it a happy card, because it might not be. But it's certainly a yummy smelling card. All right. And we got tenderness. Okay, so your yummy card is to be tender with yourself as you're going through this time of transitioning into this beautiful, amazing space that you have created for yourself. And keep going. Just keep going, lovely. All right. Thank you so much, Lynn, for choosing to have a session, extended reading with me today. I'm super grateful. Now, to jump back up to Ward, he is asking, do you know about astral travel? I try to control it, but it always happens randomly. So, Ward, I know a little bit about astral travel. I know I do it. And it obviously happens in my dream state. There is times when I will travel to the future quite often, and I'll travel about 3 to 6 months often. And then what do you know? 3 to 6 months time, it happens. It actually happened a couple of weeks ago. And it was very, very specific. When I'm astral traveling, I know that like I'll wake up and I'll go, oh, and it'll seem like a dream. But my astral traveling means like when I do it, it's like it happens and I remember it really clearly, or at least I have that comprehension of going, I know I was there. So much like right now, it would be very difficult for you to control, what someone else is going to do in another car down the street. Astral travel can be a bit like that too. It's a bit difficult to control the other elements that are going on around you. To do astral travel, from my understanding, and anybody else who's in the chat, please pop your knowledge in the chat for Ward as well, and it will help to supply us all with more information. One of my soul sisters, she loves to astral travel, but she'll probably be asleep right now. She's over in New Zealand, so and she can be a night owl, but she's in a different space right now. It's where she's requiring a lot of rest. So with astral travel, it is possible to control when you do it, but you have to be in meditation, from what I understand. You have to be in that space of like a deep, almost trance-like meditation, and then you are able to request it be done. The other times that I would do what would sort of, see, because I also do past life regression work when I'm in healing sessions and stuff like that. So sometimes that can seem a little bit like astral travel sometimes. Let's see, what did you say? I see my soul out of my body, and my body outlines does not look human. It looks like geometric DNA. Fantastic. That's awesome. So what I'm getting off of you when you're talking about that is that what you're doing is you're actually seeing yourself from a different dimension. So it's not just that astral travel space, it's interdimensional space. So you might be doing quite a lot of upgrading at the moment and bio upgrading. So that's really exciting. And I'm so thrilled to have you popping into the chat here and expressing this, because it's so cool to see what else is possible. We don't all have that capacity, but it's something that you do. And I have a funny feeling that if you do healing sessions, that you probably see that, if you allow yourself to. Because if you can see yourself in that space like that, then you're more than likely able to see others the same. Yeah, exactly, Lynn. Very cool. Love the visuals. Yeah. So I'm curious, Ward, do you do any energetic healing modalities at all? I'd love to know that. And I wonder if you're also perceiving, because I've done that in different healing sessions, something else that was just coming through, it was a reminder. So I was having my bars run, and I was able to see the section of the ceiling and the wall connecting, but it was like moving. It was like I could see it in wave form. And so I was seeing, it was almost like I was seeing two things at once. So I was seeing both this, what I could see in the normal, what the slowed down molecules looked like. But also I was seeing it from a molecular aspect at the same time. It was kind of almost like a weird picture within picture thing, where I could literally see the vibration of the molecules. And So I'm just curious. I see you said you're only 1 year in with spirituality, and you're naturally traveling. Cool. So no healing yet that you know of. I wonder what else can come your way that will allow you to make use of your capacities with being able to see geometric DNA. Maybe this is part of your gifts. Maybe start having a little play. You know, have a little play with some of your friends, maybe with, if you've got somebody around you that is you can trust, that is on the same sort of wavelength as you, who would be willing to just sit with you for a while and maybe look at their hand and see what you see in their hand. And, you know, do you remember the magic eye things back in the day where like you kind of had to make your eyes go cross-eyed to be able to see the picture? I'm getting a sense that perhaps that's something that might help you. It's about relaxing the eyes so that you can see, and just see what you can see. You don't have to do anything about it, but just observe. So, for example, when I came back from 3-day class in Hawaii, and there'd been a lot of energetic processing and stuff like that while I was there, and I came back with this incredible capacity to see dead people walking. So that might be also classed as the unconscious, but it's like there's a lot of people walking around that are just, they look dead. There's no light in them. There's no brightness. There's no, you know, they're not filled with anything. It's just blank. And it's like, it's really interesting because before I went to Hawaii, I couldn't see that. When I came back, I could. So it was a capacity of mine that has opened up. So I'd love to just see what else you can play with. Hi, Holly. This sounds weird. Can change beliefs of people. So maybe I better not tell. I travel through other dimensions and also time travel. Fantastic. So I would highly recommend that perhaps start having a look at either some healing modalities. See which ones feel the lightest for you to dabble with. There's some really amazing ones. I've done a few over the years, and the one that's popping up at the moment is doing a basic DNA in theta healing. That one there, that can really help just give your capacities some kind of landing point. And it is one that is really awesome for teaching you about the other dimensions. It's great for teaching you about the other laws that are associated with us as beings. I'm not going to say human, but as beings. Awesome. So yeah, have a look at theta healing, and basic DNA is kind of like your first course that you can do. There's loads of people around that will be able to do the course with you. Yeah, those other dimensions and time travel. And of course, you've got your spirit team all around you too that can definitely assist you. So if you're in meditation, and you connect in with them, they'll be able to help you out as well. Yes, it all sounds weird. A lot of what I do sounds bloody weird. You know, how can I look at a picture and get a message from it that's not written on it? That's weird, right? How can I look at someone's body when I'm doing a healing session, tap into another lifetime where they've, you know, been stabbed or been tortured and controlled with spikes going into their side with that are just not quite touching the heart. And if they get too excited or something, it will touch the heart and make them feel like they've had a bit of a heart attack, or just weird stuff like this. How is that even possible? And yet it does. It totally does. How is it even possible that I was able to use the principles of Ina Segal, which is about, during light healing, on my own, precancerous cells in my cervix and heal them? It's weird, right? But so cool. And I'm really thrilled that you have stumbled into our little community here and asked these questions, because it's like these capacities are coming in thick and fast at the moment for all sorts of people. So thank you for coming through to us and sharing what's going on for you. And I look forward to hearing more as you continue to dabble and dive into your capacities, because I really do get a sense that there's an ability there with what you're seeing to see where something is wonky in their geometric DNA, and so in other people. But you can also just dabble with yourself. Have a look when you're looking at your own self in that astral travel space and you're seeing your own geometric DNA. Have a look and see, is there anything that is out of place there? Is there any connections there that are a little bit weird? And see if you can correct them. That might be the first part of your playground, is just to have a look at, where your own body is sitting and how it's functioning. And because that's the way I started as well. I just dabbled with me. And then as I got more and more practiced and in healing me, then I was able to stretch out and start working with other people. So hope that helps. And thank you again for joining us. That was a fantastic question. How cool. And another part of your answer to your question around people not believing you, those that will, and those that don't, won't. And you'll get to know. You'll feel it. You can sort of ask maybe a couple of lead up questions around spirituality, around energetic healing, energy, this, other worlds, dimensions, something, just a light lead up question. And if they're kind of going, fuck, that's all bullshit, not to tell them anymore. But yes, certainly I find it all very, very fascinating and interesting. I've been listening to a lot of Dolores Cannon over the last 12 months. And if you haven't listened to any or read any of her books or anything, I prefer to get through my books through Audible these days, because I just don't really have the time to sit down and read a book. Just to give you an idea, for all of you beautiful people who have been following me for a while and know that I devour my books through Audible, I got a notice, like a review. I have listened to over 55,000 hours of Audible last year. That's a lot of hours of Audible. So yes, I've and that's been a combination of different types of books, not just Dolores Cannon, but she goes into what the book that I've just listened to actually is called 5 Lives Remembered, which is her beginnings into hypnotherapy and regression therapy. And it was such a great book. I was so sad when it ended. It's only about a 9-hour book. And it was just fantastic, focused a lot on her beginnings with her husband and stuff like that and how it continues. So if you want to know and have a bit more understanding about how the spirit world works, as well as how our past lives can influence our current life, that's a really good starting book, to be honest. I would say for any of you out there who are sort of curious about how the spirit world works a little bit and what is possible there, I would absolutely recommend having a look/listen to that. All right, for you gorgeous people, it is now time for the gratitude poems. So pick a number, the first number between 1 and 88. First number that pops into your head, not your favorite number necessarily, and pop them in the chat below, please. All right. There we go. Pop it in the chats, my friends, and we will read out a poem and do mini readings from there. There's still a few of you there. You're welcome. You're welcome, Ward. Thank you, Melinda. Hey, Ward, if you're still floating around there, where are you tuning in from? I'm curious. Very curious. All righty, Melinda. You got dreams. As I lay down for another night, I close my eyes and fall into the abyss of sleep. There we can be together in friendship, together in love, together in touch. To someone watching me sleep, I'm smiling, for at this moment I'm with my one true love. So, Melinda, if you're desiring to have your next most amazing, delicious partner in your world, what I would be doing, and this particular poem is giving you a bit of a hint, is perhaps okay. So what is coming through right now is, if you have someone in mind, write their name on a piece of paper. I'm getting, put a rose quartz crystal with it, some lavender, vanilla, and something else, and you will know what that something else is, I'm being told, and place it under your pillow. On your heart first, and asking for them to come into your life to be your next most delicious partner. And in this lifetime, must put that caveat in there, in this lifetime, and then pop it under your pillow and let it come through in your dream state and bring it up through that way, and it'll start manifesting and actualizing in this real lifetime. If you don't know who specifically it is, still do all those other steps, except ask for your next most compatible, most delicious, most amazing partner. Write down the attributes of that person, what you would like. Write down perhaps the aspects of your next most delicious relationship and what that will feel like. Put that on there. And then pop it under your pillow with all the other bits and pieces. And, have yourself a lovely manifesting, actualizing dream. Oh dear. That was cool. It was like tapping into my own personal hedge witch side, which I don't often do. So thank you. I have that lifetime that I healed back in October, which was who was they said you'll know what kind of vanilla. Whatever you've got, they said. It doesn't matter too much. Could be like my tea bag, which has rose and vanilla in it. Maybe not my used tea bag, but you know, it could be a tea with the vanilla in it. Just have a look, see what speaks to you. Oh dear. Alrighty. Well, if nobody, oops, what did I do? There we go. Sorry about that. All right. Well, if nobody else wishes to have a little poem reading, if everybody else has gone bye-bye, or just is feeling a little shy, I should say. If everybody else is feeling a little shy, I might disappear. So I will be back on Tuesday for that one. There we go. I'm back, honey. Good timing. Pick a number between 1 and 88, my love. Feel free. 77. There we go. All right. Lucky last. All right. All right. So, my love, you got patience, my girl. I used to hate this poem because this was the year of patience. In fact, it turned into about 5 years of being told I must be patient. If he is supposed to be yours, then he will be. You have made the connection over distance already. He loves you with all his heart, soul, and body. He will do almost anything to talk and be with you. So he has some things he needs to sort. You know this year is about patience. This is another instance, another lesson. Breathe. Feel the love and warmth because it is true. Trust it, trust in yourself, trust what has been said before is true. Okay. Now, quite clearly, this is from your gorgeous husband. And you know, as it says there, he loves you with all of his heart, his soul, and his body. So he's sending you a little message to go, it's okay. I'm still here. I'm still loving you. And yes, it's okay to just keep trusting in yourself. Trust that I have what I said for you. But please go out and have some fun and enjoy yourself. Okay. So he again has just popped up. He loves popping in to say hello during the show, doesn't he? And he really likes seeing you grow. Okay. So keep moving on that one. Keep doing you. All right. And he will be waiting for you. I have no doubt about that at all. He will wait. He might pop in and out. He might go and off and do his own things for a little bit. I was just saying before, if you haven't read or listened to the book 5 Lives Remembered by Dolores Cannon, have a listen to that. I think it might give you a lot of comfort actually for what Barry's up to at the moment, and might give you a little bit greater understanding and peacefulness about why sometimes you can't feel him. And then it might actually give you some more conversation points moving forward. All right. So next week on Tasty Tuesdays, we have Annie Lee from America. I can't believe it. She is just an all-round gorgeous, gorgeous being. She is so beautifully light and artistic and just has the biggest heart. You can just feel it from the moment you hear her voice. It is just like boom, and it's like it'll just make you smile. It's going to be a podcast that'll just make you smile from top to toe. She's just recently released a new book, a children's book, and she has designed, like, what's it called, illustrated it herself, as well as writing the story, and it is just amazing. It is so heartfelt, and it is absolutely beautiful. So with that, my absolutely gorgeous ones, thank you for being with me for Find You Fridays. I am so incredibly grateful for every single one of you coming in and playing with me tonight. And just remember that reading from the start of the show, from the collective reading, be aware you might feel a bit more sensitive, you might feel a little bit more moody, but please have some patience with yourself. Please forgive yourself and forgive others, and get out into nature, do some deep breathing, have those moments where you're actually just really being present with Mother Nature. All right. Until I see you next time, go out, do something tasty for yourself. I don't care what it is. Just do something tasty. And until then, until I see you next time, be bold, be brave, be you, gorgeous ones. Bye-bye.